Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis, and we are so blessed to have you here with us. I know there's 1,000 things you could be doing on a Sunday morning, and we're glad you're here with us now. I'd like to introduce, first off is my lovely assistant, Faith. Faith is the behind-the-scenes person. If you're wondering if you're having conversations with me, I am not that talented. I cannot multitask, do my sermon, and type answers to your comments. So please know that she is the mini-me behind the scenes. And then, of course, Oz is operating on the pulpit today. He is our licensed practitioner, the wise and powerful Oz, and he will be praying us in and out. So this is my team. This is God's team, I should say. And so we're going to have a lovely day today. So anyway, all right. And we do music from Elaine Silver, Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver. We Are All One. And then from Karen Drucker, we do I Am So Blessed. So I wanted to just announce that because they are gifting us with their talent and treasure, and we just love them so much. The topic today, it's 2020, and some people might say, what a mess, what a disaster it's been. In addition to a worldwide pandemic, we've been sheltering in place, we've been staying safer at home, we've been celebrating Thanksgiving with our families and friends by Zoom, and it's now December. And there's home church, home celebrations, and homeschooling. And I really feel for the parents who have had to take on extended roles, and for the students that are losing a piece of their childhood innocence. We have world communities that are looking at systemic racism and the societal inequities that have resulted from generations of inequitable systems. And we're also dealing with the unrest and violence in our cities. We are experiencing fires and hurricanes, earthquakes, and yes, even volcanic eruptions. So where do we find hope in a world such as this? And I use hope as a noun, not as a verb. And I want to start this off really quickly before we start the service with something from a friend of mine who is our spiritual leader, our community spiritual leader for our organization, Reverend Dr. Edward Villon. He says, it's 2020. Oh, well, no, that's it. And let's see, where is this part come in? Let's see. Here we go. He was talking about from this book called Girls Stop Apologizing, a shame-free plan for embracing and achieving your goals. And he says, in the midst of life's grit and grime, something strikes a chord of truth in us. And its resonance, wakes up a sleeping giant in us, at first as a small light, flickering, and then as it illuminates us, our thinking and our thoughts, we rise. Doubt will kill more dreams than failure ever will, is another one that he said. And so I just wanted to share that because today we're going to be talking about hope. And hope as light is really what we're talking about, but hope as a noun, not a verb. And so that is our topic for today. If you're here, say hi or hello, say something so that we know that you're here. And if you would like to do a watch party, there's a watch party button you can click on. And when you do that, your friends, you can watch it with your friends and comment back and forth and not disturb anybody. So I'd like to invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift you and inspire you as we move into our centering song.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
The presence of God, right here, right now, in us, as us, living and seeing through our eyes, working with our hands. Each one of us is an expression of that one great force, and we live in a world that is powered by that same great force, and in a universe that is continually evolving, continually moving, and each and every particle of that universe is part of that one God substance. The intention of God moving through us individually as part of a greater whole, for we are one in that whole. And there is no other place. There is no other time. There is only right now in the presence of God. And I know that this flows through our service, and the message uplifts and inspires. Each hears what they need to hear. And I know that this is a good thing. And for that great blessing, I give great thanks, and I let it be. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Oz. Okay, let's see. This next one is the one from Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver. We do a lot of music in our church because music opens the heart, which ultimately opens the mind. And so we want to touch your heart. We want to touch your mind. We want to touch your spirit. And so we do a lot of singing and a lot of that kind of thing. So I invite you, if you know the words to this song, to sing along loud and proud, because no one else can hear you, right? Okay. So here we are. We are all one.
We are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. I hear it and know it, my being. Spirit is all I am seeing. For God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I receive, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. Yes, we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it.
Pardon me while I put my phone on silent. I don't want to get disturbed during the service. Excuse me. All right, so let me get to my notes here. We have been doing Metaphysical Advent this whole month. the topics that most churches do: love, peace, joy, and hope. But I like to make them topical. So we arrange them around Hanukkah. Now, this year, Hanukkah starts on December 10th, which is 4 days from now. But I'm going to go ahead and light Hanukkah lights today, just so you can have the experience of it. I was raised Jewish. We went to an Orthodox synagogue. Not a lot of you know that. Some of you do. And, you know, it was pretty interesting because, you know, my sister, when I was growing up, there wasn't such thing as a Hanukkah bush. Okay. My sister's 13 years younger than me. And you know, my birthday was on December 16th. And so my birthday almost always fell either right before Hanukkah, right in the middle of Hanukkah, or right after Hanukkah. And then most people had Christmas. So it kind of sucked for me because I would get a gift for my birthday that was also a Hanukkah gift, you know. And so then by the time my sister came along, they started having Hanukkah bushes because we don't have Christmas trees. So they lit everything up in blue and white instead of green and red. But they had Hanukkah bushes. And it was really funny because I saw one of my nieces bought a Hanukkah ornament, and she put it on Facebook, and I had to laugh because I thought, you know, it just looks like a Christmas ornament. It's a blue Star of David, but it just looks like a Christmas ornament to me, but whatever. And so one of the joys that I have in my ministry is to be able to bring Hanukkah, as well as Christmas, as well as Kwanzaa, as well as all of these other traditions into our services, especially Hanukkah, because it is special to me. And so we're going to light the Hanukkah candles in a minute. Now, when I talk about hope, it's not like hope as a verb, like I hope that person comes back into my life. But as a noun, I have hope that love will be my experience. You hear the difference? Or I'm not saying I hope the world will be a better place someday, but I have hope for a better world than this. You hear that difference? Not I hope that this illness I have goes away, but I have hope for an experience, or my experience of wellness. So to give a little background on hope and why the Jews celebrate the Hanukkah as a time of hope, it's because of the Maccabees. Now, the Greek pronunciation, which if you look it up is going to be, that's what you'll find, is Judas Maccabeus and his 4 brothers, but we call them the Maccabees. And Judea was ruled by the Syrian ruler Antiochus IV. I have to say that right. Lynn always corrects me, but he's in the other room. Antiochus IV, who didn't allow the Jews to practice their own religion in freedom. Instead, he wanted the Jews to practice their religion and worship their God. And so there was an insurrection against Antiochus. And so there was a war, of course, you know, there always is. And the Maccabee brothers went off to fight the Syrian army. And while they were gone, Antiochus ordered the city destroyed, including the temple. And so they desecrated the temple, they violated the altars, and they did really obscene things in the temple because it was his belief that if he destroyed the temple, he would destroy the hope of the Jewish people. And that's very hard to do. I mean, we've had in our history, I say our because I was raised Jewish and it's in my blood, but we've had a history of rulers who would come to power in our cities and in our what do they call that? Establishments. I don't know what you would like, and settlements. That's what it is. Yeah, in our settlements, and then try to get us to lose hope, so that we would be, you know, end up slaves or end up doing whatever they wanted us to do, and we would lose our identity and our hope. And it's really hard to do. We are a resilient bunch of folks, let me tell you. We are resilient like crazy. So anyway, they destroyed the temple, and when the brothers returned, they started to rebuild the temple and realized that they only had enough oil for one night. And so while the rest of the people were rebuilding the temple, Judas set off on an 8-day journey to bring back oil. Now, there was only enough oil for one day, supposedly. And so they lit the candle the first night. And when I say candle, it's really an oil lamp, but it was only supposed to last one night. And it burned for 8 nights. And so it was considered a miracle. And that's why we have 8 nights of Hanukkah, and why we light candles for 8 days. And we light 8 candles. Behind me, you're going to see the menorah. And so I am going to do the ceremony in just a moment. Okay, so first I want to tell you that we do everything in the Jewish religion from right to left instead of left to right. So when you're taught to read in Judaism, you are reading the sacred text from right to left instead of left to right, like, you know, you're taught in school. So it's always kind of a little bit confusing. But so what we do first is we have this one candle down here and 8 of them up here. We have this one candle, I hope you can see. And let me move this chair out of the way. There we go. And this is the shamus candle, and it is the candle with which we light all other candles. And so I'm going to light this one candle here. And I'm only going to light one candle today because it is not yet Hanukkah. Come on. I want to light. There we go. And as I do that, I'm going to say a little prayer, and Faith is going to put the English translation up on the screen for you. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvasav v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Which means, put this back down there. And so the first night we would light the one light. The second night we would light 2 lights and on. So blessed art thou, the King of the universe, who has, oh dear, who has made us holy through his commandments and has commanded us to light the Hanukkah lights. That's what that prayer says. So anyway, that is what it looks like when the Hanukkah lights are burning. And you're on, Faith. I have a little surprise for all of you.
Laila yored la, Baruch Shoshan Nospa, Abba Echad Lach Shebalat, Temashava, Moshech Maleh Tali, Bicheh Bokash Shoshan, Ektafanuli, Ektafanuli, Eres Shoshani, Netzena Habusta, Mobesamino Lefona, Leach Machita. Laila la, Be'ach Shoshan Shokna, Abelchaz Lakshimala, Shemashava, Shemashava.
That was from 2008, and Tina did that as a surprise to me. And, you know, I just wanted to put that up there because that was pretty amazing that she had not only the great pronunciation, she's Dutch, you know, like, it's like, wow, she pronounced that so well, but she was also davening. In the Jewish faith, when you're doing prayer, you daven. You kind of bow and go back and forth, rock back and forth. And she was, and then you go down with your knees and then you go, And she was actually davening. It was a perfect experience. I wish I had a video of it. John used to be so almost OCD about videoing things, and we never got that on video. I don't quite understand, but it's okay. All right. So Christianity is derived from Judaism. So lighting the Christmas lights is about the great hope of a Messiah, actually. I mean, the Jews talk about a Messiah during Passover, but they don't believe that the Messiah has come. The Christians believe that the Messiah came in the form of Jesus, the Jesus of Nazareth. And And they believe now that the lights signal the hope of the second coming as well. In religious science, the second coming for us is about the Christ consciousness being prevalent in the world when all of us learn how to be that. We believe that he came last time to teach us how, and we got the message wrong and ended up thinking that we were supposed to worship him. But he was trying to teach us how to develop that Christ consciousness about us reaching that point in the human race. See, he was not the great exception. He was the great example. And so the second coming for us is that we finally get the message and start to act as he did. Not just take his words and say, oh, I like to try, but actually starting to act as he did. So this time of year is celebrated by both Judaism and Christianity as a time of great hope in the world. Even in the secular world, you have those light towers that boats or ships on the ocean, there's a beacon of light, and that represents hope of land. And so even in the secular world, light means hope. It's synonymous with hope. And when we shed light on dark places, hope is alive. So Ernest Holmes said, Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, suppose a room has been in darkness for years and we bring in a light. It would make no difference how long the room may have been in the dark. When the light appears, the darkness disappears. Don't you feel more happy and joyful around Christmas time? And I'm not talking about the shopping part of it, but I'm talking about the lights and the activity. And the world just seems to be alive. And you're thinking about friends and family and what to get them. And there's this party atmosphere that we have. And what's running through all of this is hope for a better day. We have hope that life will be better than it is now. No matter whether you're talking about Judaism, Christianity, or religious science, it's all the same message. There is hope for a better day. And it's a great time for us to explore hope. Not a lot in the textbook, so it's up to us to kind of come up with our own version of what hope is. My version of hope is, Ernest Holmes says, hope is a weird word because we start off hoping for something to happen instead of recognizing that there is hope. But my version of hope is that it's a noun. It is hope that we have. It's not a verb like I'm hoping and wishing and praying and, gee, wouldn't it be nice if? It's not that kind of hope. And no matter how dark it seems, no matter what's going on in the world, there is always hope, always. Hope is God in the world. And so knowing that we have a choice to change things, to change our thinking, to change our minds, that gives us hope. And that's the kind of hope we're talking about. God doesn't pick you up to just drop you. God didn't decide to rent you for entertainment. So, I know that no matter what happens in this church, that God didn't put me here to just drop me on my face, right? Some of you know the story of how this church came to be, and some of you don't, so I'm going to go ahead and share it again. But I had left the Denver church, and I knew I had some healing that I needed to do. And so I started doing visioning. And basically what I was doing was Carolyn Mace and Alan Roth had this series on tape. And they were talking about how to claim your spirit back. Because when you're in a relationship, any kind of relationship, but that, for me, that was, the people at that church, the other minister, but when you're in a relationship and you leave that relationship behind, you leave pieces of yourself behind. And so they did this whole ritual about getting into the water and calling the pieces back, calling the pieces of your spirit back. So I started doing meditation on that and visioning. And, I was envisioning an answer like go swim with the dolphins, or I don't know, go stand in the water. I just didn't expect to get the answer that I got. And, what is mine to do now? Open another church. Now that would have been this is my third church. I helped Marilyn Earhart start her church up in Broomfield? Something like that. And, served there for a long time as board president. And then I founded the Denver church with Jim Chandler. And I was there for about a year and a half. And like I said, I did about 7 months of good healing work when I left, because I did leave pieces of myself behind. And so, this would have been a third church, and the answer kept coming back, church. And I'm like, hell no. Can I say that word? Yeah, it's a biblical word. And so what was interesting is I had this guy that was redoing my bathroom, and he took my bathtub out. Now, I'm a bath girl. I'll take a shower if I have to, but I even wash my hair in the bathtub. I would rather do that in the bathtub than in the shower. I don't know what it is about showers, but I just prefer sitting in the bath. And so he took my bathtub apart and he said, I'll be back tomorrow to put it back together. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he left. 4 weeks later, I still didn't have a bathtub. And in the meantime, I'm doing this meditation and visioning, and I'm asking, what is the next step here? And I kept getting the answer back, church. I'm like, not going to happen. And so it took me probably 2 months before I actually was like, okay, fine, I'll open a damn church. Within 10 minutes, he called and said, I will be there tomorrow. And I got my bathtub back. And what that tells me is that God didn't put me in this position to drop me on my face. So when I see attendance low, I try not to get discouraged. Discouragement is the opposite of hope. And I try to keep it at bay. I try to slam the door on it before it has a chance to take hold on me, because discouragement is just going to keep me from my good. So when the attendance is low, instead of thinking, oh my God, what's happening? I look at it as an opportunity to look at what I need to work through. Because obviously, when I am the leader of the church, and then the people represent my consciousness. They wrote, the numbers. And, Dr. Villon says, like they used to take attendance at church. And, they had 800, 1,200, 600 each Sunday. They would count heads. And with this new world that we're in, that's impossible to do. And so he said what he realized is that the success of the church is not the numbers of people that are there, but instead it is the numbers of people that have reached that Christ consciousness, who have had a breakthrough and learned how to live as God within them. And so I think about that when I think about the attendance, and I think about, we haven't gotten as big as I would like. And I don't sit around hoping that we would be bigger. What I know is that there is hope for that bigger church, and we will get there. I know we will. It's just a matter of time. And, there's no time in God. Let me put it that way. God doesn't need time. It's our awareness that needs to shift. We create the opening through which God can provide for us. And as we're walking through all of this, we need to remember there is no expiration date. There's no stamp on the bottom of a prayer that says, okay, it's only good for this time period. There is no expiration date for any of this. And so as I'm walking through my stuff, I'm realizing that, the prayer that we created this church with, the prayer that we continue this church with, the prayer that we have every day may not manifest right away, not because God needs time, but because we need time. And we just need to know that God's answer is always yes, because once we get to that size, we'll have all this worked out. Right now, we're going through growing pains, just trying to get it all worked out, how to do the videos, how to do this, how to do that. And, I would really like that by the time we have 800 people, we have it all worked out. And it doesn't mean that God is saying not yet. It's because our consciousness is not yet ready to receive. See, we're focused on our woes. That's what's in the way of our hope. When I focus on, I don't know, any of that stuff that I talked about in the beginning, when we focus on schools not being open, or when we focus on the fact that we have to wear a mask, or if we focus on the violence and the uprisings in the world, or if we focus on all of that, then that's in the way of our hope. That's in the way of us manifesting that better life that we know is there. And so instead, we're declaring our intent for that better life. We are declaring our intent for love being our experience. We are declaring our intent for wellness to be our experience. And then we visualize. We visualize, what will the world look like and sound like? What will we feel like if we had it already? We do that work, and we'll manifest it a lot quicker if we do that. See, by the time we get to, oh my God, it hasn't manifested yet, we're back to focusing on the negative again, and we're counteracting the very prayer that we have already done. And it's not like there's some being up there who's sighing in relief because we stopped praying. That is not what's going on at all. What's going on is that we're in constant motion within our consciousness, and every prayer that we offer in the same vein leads us to that manifestation, because that is our focus, and we focus our intent on that. We focus our feeling on that. We focus on that exclusively. God wants to provide. The pathway's always been there. We just have to be willing to open the pathway and make sure it's available. And so we have it all worked out. By the time we have all these people, then we know that there is always hope. When we see the lights from the candles burning, the lights in the houses and trees, remember there is always hope. In the Bible, it says, be still and know, because love always finds a way. That isn't, I'm paraphrasing. That isn't exactly what it says. And I apologize. I'm going to have to read my notes from somewhere else now because I didn't get them all in there. When I was saying no to opening a church, I wasn't listening to that part of myself, that inner part of myself that knows what it needs to do. I wasn't listening to what God was urging my spirit to take on as mine. And so when I get discouraged, I think about that. I think about what it was like to be without my bathroom, my bathtub. I think about, all of the strenuous saying no, no, no that I was doing, and how when I finally said yes to that, it manifested as a perfect bathroom. And I think about those things whenever I start to get discouraged. And let's see, I also have to think about, because this is part of the visioning, and we will be doing visioning the last weekend in December for year 2021. I forgot a song, didn't I? Did you? Yeah, I did. I forgot a song. Well, you know what? Let's have a song now. And I'll come back and talk some more. How's that?
Okay, let's do the first song.
Okay.
I'll tell a tale, yeah. Back beast in Israel, yeah. When the Greeks tried to sail, yeah. But it was all to no avail, yeah. The war went on and on and on, until the mighty Greeks were gone, yeah. I play my life just in the air sometimes, to stay in there, to spin the dreidel, to just wanna celebrate for all the nights, to sing in there, light the candle, to stay out high, oh yeah, for all late nights, and we play dreidel by the candlelight. And I told you once, now I told you twice, about the miracle of the candlelight. They took the field. Their rivals thought, are they for real? Those Maccabees, they never yield. They charged ahead with sword and shield. Yeah. The war went on and on and on, until the mighty Greeks were gone, yeah. I'll put my life just in the air sometimes, saying yeah, to spin the dreidel, to just wanna celebrate for all late nights, singing it, like the candle. We sing our own tune, oh yeah, for all late nights, and we play dreidel by the candlelight. And I told you once, now I told you twice, about the miracle of the candlelight. And the great menorah, for 8 days it kept on burning. What a celebration, a great return to Torah learning. 'Cause I can feel it, and I Helping my life is in the air sometimes. Saying it, spin the dreidel. Just wanna celebrate for all late nights. Singing it, light the candles. We sing our old oh yeah, for all late nights. And we play dreidel by the candlelight. And I told you once, now I told you twice. About the miracle of the candlelight.
Thank you, Faith. There are times when we do something different and it just messes my whole thing up. I just, for some reason, can't read. I have this order of service sitting right here and I can't read it for some reason. And for those of you who don't know what a dreidel is, it's this little top kind of thing. And you play dreidel and you spin it, and depending on what comes up, you get these little we call them gelt, Hanukkah gelt, and it's chocolates that are wrapped in like a foil. And so that's what you were seeing them play around. That looked like a card game. Okay, so as I was saying, we are going to be doing visioning as the last Sunday of December. We try to do it once a quarter, and I always like to do it right before January, because then we know, like, what is our vision for the coming year? And part of that process is, what do I need to forgive or release? And so when we're talking about hope, that's a really good thing to be aware of. Because what keeps us from our good, what keeps us from that prayer manifesting in the physical world, is something that we have to forgive something about, or something we need to release. So here's how it goes, just as a preview. What is God's vision for my life in 2021? And what must I release, or what must I become in order to be that vessel through which that vision manifests? And then the third question is, what must I release or forgive in order to become that vessel through which God's vision can manifest? And so when we do a prayer, one of the things we need to do for a better world, we have hope for the better world. And now when we do a prayer for our experience of that better world, what do we need to forgive? What do we need to release? What is it that is standing in the way of our hope? Remember, I'm not alone. God wouldn't drop me on my face. There is no separation. God is in and through everyone and everything. And because of that, we can't be separate from God. And if I'm not separate from God, then there's no way that I can be alone, right? And so if God is within me, and God will never drop me on my face, God won't change up on me, then there isn't anything keeping me from my hope. If I really think about that for a while, if I think about what it means to not be separate from God, if I think about what it means for God not to be this being that's going to drop me on my face, God never quits on you, God won't quit on you. I promise you, God will not quit on you. You know what does quit? God doesn't quit. I don't quit. My spirit never quits. No matter what happens, I won't quit. I'm tenacious that way. But disappointment does quit. If you just wait it out, if you can just focus on the hope that there is a better world. And let's see, the prayer doesn't quit. Yeah. You'll come out on the other side with a spirit that is strong if you refuse to give up. Whatever doesn't kill us makes us stronger, right? So don't let the discouragement get to you. God just didn't bring you to this place in order to drop you on your face. God is the power and the presence that is in and through all of life, and it is in and through all of us. And because of that, our intention, when we set an intention, when we do our visioning and ask God for that, ask ourselves for what God's vision, the bigger vision is for our life, then we're living that hope. We're not hoping for something better. We know there is something better coming. So this week, I want you to take your focus off of all the worldly stuff going on, all of the, inequalities of the world, all of the, everything that's going on in terms of violence and protests and, this election and the pandemic, not to say don't be conscious about wearing a mask or staying 6 feet away from each other. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you focus all of your attention on what you're missing, and instead, if that's where your attention is, that's what you're going to get more of, is more missing, more stuff missing. And if you focus your attention instead on the hope of the world, the lights, knowing that lights mean hope, that is synonymous with hope. If you focus your attention on that and focus your attention on what it feels like, what it looks like, what it sounds like when there's a better world, if you can put your attention to that instead of anything else, hi, Fred and Kathy, if you can put your attention into that greater world that you all, allow yourself to experience and open that pathway so that it can come in. If you'll spend time this week just doing that every day, take a time slot, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours if you can do it. I spend an hour to 2 hours in prayer and meditation every day. So for me, that doesn't sound like a lot of time, but you can start out with 5 minutes. You can start out with 10 minutes, whatever it takes. But I want you to focus your attention exclusively on the better world that is there, on that infinite power, that infinite presence of God that creates that world, that perfect world that we all know is there. Spend 5 minutes. Can you do that with me this week? Let's have a prayer. Right now, I just focus my awareness on that infinite presence, that infinite power, that infinite life that is God. That beingness that is ever present everywhere. Omnipotent, omniscient, all-knowing, all-powerful, all-present, omnipresent. For God is simply all there is, all there ever has been, all there ever will be, and all there is right here, right now. And I know that one life expresses itself through me. It is who and what I am, my very essence, my very life, my very being. And every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that one infinite power, that one infinite presence of God that lives within me. For the heart of God beats within my heart. The life of God is my life. The love of God is channeled through me, funneled into me, and out through me to others. Simply all I am is God. And not all of me, all of God is in me, but all of God is present in me. And so, because you can't part out God. And so I know the same truth to be so for God's team, for Faith and for Lynn and for Oz. For we are just doing the motions. God is the message. God is delivering the message. God is preparing the message. God is delivering all of the technology to get us there. God is praying through us. And so I know this to be so for each person listening today or watching today, whether that be in real time or later on or even other days. For there is no place where one person leaves off and the other begins. We are all one. Matakyo Yasin. all one. So I bless this coming week with that awareness, that knowledge, that wisdom. And yes, with hope. With hope for a better world. For hope for a beautiful 2021. For hope for our lives to be lived fully in that Christ consciousness. For us to experience that hope in our relationships, in our health, in our world, everything about us, our financial affairs. For God is the presence that is in and through all of it, underlying it. And so I know for every name that is in the ministry of prayer this morning that God's presence is the truth about those conditions, and anything unlike those that we are experiencing is just a condition that is washed away from the revelation of God's presence, of the hope of God in our spirit. And so I pull back that veil right now, revealing that truth, claiming for each person the spiritual truth of God, dissolving all of the conditions back to the nothingness from which they came. I claim it for them, claim the truth for them, the goodness of God for them. Here and now, I call it good and very good. And so my heart just fills with gratitude to know that this is so, to be of service in this way, to let love and God shine through me, through all of us. I give great thanks, and my heart just fills up with that gratitude as I just let it be. And so it is. Amen. Oof, goodness. My goodness, goodness. Now I'm looking at my agenda. I'm being really good about it now that I've already screwed up. So now is the time for us to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to express gratitude for that which you have received in physical form already, and that which you have made manifest in the mind of God that has not yet manifested in your physical world. Excuse me. I'm going to ask that you go to our website, which Faith is putting in the comments section over there, oasiscsl.org. And in the middle of that first page is our offering affirmation. Yeah, she has it there. That's cool. I love that feature. That is awesome. She figures out all kinds of good stuff. And in the middle of that page is our offering affirmation. So whether you are here with us right now in real time or you are watching this later, please say that offering affirmation with us. This perfect gift is spirit and form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is. Please click on that Contribute Now button if you want to know what you're contributing to. We are in the business of uplifting and inspiring spirits all over the world. We have a worldwide audience, and we just want our message to get out there. And so that's what you're contributing to. So press that Contribute Now button, and let's move into our song.
I've been running through rain that I thought would never end. Trying to make it on faith in a struggle against the wind. I see the dark in the broken places. Oh, but I know in my soul, no matter how bad it gets, I'll be alright. There's a road before me. There's a light.
Hey, Faith, if you can hear me. Oh, okay. Would you mind putting those links up so that if they want to listen to that music separately from us? Okay. She is so good. I just love my assistant. She's so awesome. All right. So we have a ministry of prayer, as I mentioned in my prayer, where you can let us know whatever challenge you are experiencing there by putting it in the comments, anything that you would like prayer for. And we will pray on those requests every day for a week. We have this private group page that our God Squad gets those prayer requests and prays on those every day for a week. And so just type it in the comments. If you don't want it to be public, you can message one of us and we will make sure that it gets on that page so that the God Squad can take care of it. Speaking of our God Squad, we have this wonderful team of licensed practitioners that will pray on those requests every day for a week. And they're coast to coast, so it's pretty cool. Like Oz is in Florida. We have somebody in LA. We have somebody in Minnesota. And a couple of people here in Colorado. So take advantage of this loving service they provide. And Oz is available today for our 1 minute miracle. It's not a time where not a time for counseling, but a time where you can share with him whatever challenge you're experiencing, and he will stop, drop, and pray with you right then and there. And our licensed practitioners are available by appointment for a fee for spiritual guidance as well. So check them out. Go to our website and you will be able to see, there's Bob Oswald there. She already put the link up. And you reach out to him through video chat. If he doesn't answer right away, that means he's on the line with someone else. So just wait a few minutes and call him back. And so if you would like to serve on our God Squad, our team of licensed practitioners, and you don't have to be a licensed practitioner to serve on the God Squad team for this purpose. If you would like to do that and you are willing to commit to praying every day, affirmative prayer on those requests every day for a week, then please let us know by typing prayer yes, type yes in the comments section. You would think I don't do this every week, wouldn't you? If you would like to be part of our online community, we also have a public-facing group page. That is our online community, and we post things in there before we post them everywhere else. So you would be the first to get any acknowledgement of anything, announcements of anything that we're going to be doing, classes and that kind of thing. All right. And so then also, what you would do is type more in the comments, and that will get you there. Okay, let's see. I need to go here and here because I want to do this handmade mallas and bracelets from Brooks and Bailey. We love that she does that. It benefits the Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue. You can contact her through brooksandbailey0307@gmail.com. And of course, Faith has already put that in the comment section. Also, check out Brooks Limited, Brooks Ltd on Facebook. This is one of the jackets that, she's really good about saying, her stuff is one of a kind. So she's really good about saying, use something that is already in your closet and update it with just a piece of her stuff. So it's pretty wonderful stuff. It's really unique stuff. So get on there and see all of her designs. She's awesome. I want to also shout out again to Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver for the music that she provides. She has a website. You can go there and look at all of the different stuff that you could buy. She has, I think, 18 or 20 CDs. And you will have to reach out to her via email to see where to send the money because she's not able to update her website. But Karen Drucker has a website that you can actually purchase on by using your debit or credit card. And she has like 20 actual album CDs. And then she has all kinds of individual songs. You can buy songbooks, you can buy sing-alongs, karaoke, you can buy all that stuff. So check out her website. All of this information should be in the comments section already. And then check out our website at www.oasiscsl.org. Check out our practitioners. We list events that are coming up. We also have the video sermons for the current sermons there. And we have past prior audio sermons because we didn't have video to do that with. And so we keep all of that on the website so you can go back and listen to whatever sermon you like. We're also on Google. YouTube. If you go to YouTube, you can pull it up through that. Also, SoundCloud has the past sermons on it. So, check us out. Listen to us. It's a great way for you to understand and get some teaching on how to live your life better. All right, so let's move into our closing song. Again, you want to sing this because you want to feel the feeling of being blessed. So here we go.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have.
There we go.
And as I move into the week, I know that the blessings of God are supporting me, enabling the life to continue around and in me. I know that this is a perfect process. I know that the blessings of God flow continuously and effortlessly into our lives and through us, allowing all to be blessed in the maximum possible ways. I know this is good and very good, and I let it be so, and so it is.
And so it is. So thank you so much for being here this morning. We know there's a lot of places you could be, and we're glad you're here with us. We love you. Stay safe, and we'll see you next Sunday and every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.